I think some classic movies are getting to be revived, such as like Ghostbusters, Top Gun, and The Matrix, and so on. And you have these famous, very established, well-known old characters, but I believe that you had to build something new on them, and also not being too nostalgic. So in this film, you have the classic characters and new characters. So how did you combine these arcs?
Very carefully and very respectfully. And I really listen to the actors because I know they're authorities on their own characters. They've been living in their shoes for 28 years. And so I asked Laura Dern, how Ellie Sattler would see the world, and Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum, and that helped us build a story that I think respects them, but also doesn't just bring them into the movie just to be in the movie. We send them on a real adventure, and we make them a real part of the world, a real part of the narrative from start to finish.
You did the director for the first Jurassic World, and now you came back to the director's chair to conclude this franchise. And you are also going to conclude the other mega franchise a few years ago. I mean, the Star Wars. I know that was heartbreaking. I've seen some script surface online and I like them. But how do you feel about finally doing such a big job to conclude the franchise?
Well, I did get to think about how to conclude a franchise that everybody loves for a long time, and so I paid close attention throughout this process to what everybody felt they needed out of it, because I don't just make these movies for me. I make them for kids and families all over the world, and I make them for the fans, and there may be different needs from both of those groups, but you have to make something that can satisfy everybody. It might be impossible, so all I can do is my best, and I really hope that when people leave this film, they'll feel like it was satisfying and authentic and hopefully respectful to all the shoulders that we're standing on.
The creator, Steven Spielberg, I heard that he got very emotional when he saw a picture that Sam and Laura and Jeff together. But what did he exactly say about their reunion?
It was really just that he wanted to, really one of the very few things that he asked of me when I went to make this movie, because he knew how much I cared about it. He just said, remember the characters. There's dinosaurs, there's a massive story we're telling, it's hugely ambitious. Don't forget these people, because in the end, that's what we are coming to see, is these people that we love. And if we don't care about them, we're not going to care what happens to them. And it seems obvious, but it's easy to forget that as you're making a giant movie like this. There's so many different elements that sometimes you can forget the people. So I made sure to keep that in my mind the whole time.
So the production was held during the pandemic. So I heard that you stayed in the same hotel with the cast. And in this unique situation, did you learn the importance of coexistence, which is the main theme of this franchise, and like trusting each other?
Absolutely. Well, honestly, now that you've seen the movie, you can see that it's a movie about how we were feeling while we made it. And we were realizing that maybe we're not as assured to live to the end of our lives as we thought we were. It's a very scary idea that everyone on the planet was going through at the same time. So I think you can feel it throughout in the way that the characters are looking at a potential coming disaster, and they have both fear for it, but also hope and a determination to work together to find a solution. And hopefully that'll be what all of us are doing, is just finding a way to move forward together.